Welcome back to the Sports Betting Edge podcast presented by OddsJam.com. I am your host, Anthony Servino. Follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at OddsJam. We can be found at all of the top social media and podcast platforms. And we have a football game tomorrow night. NFL Week 8 kickoff game, Thursday Night Football. The Green Bay Packers visit the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this game was expected to be a really, really good one if everybody was healthy. However, that is not the case. The Green Bay Packers are going to limp in to Arizona down their top two pass-catching weapons. Davante Adams, unlikely to play. Allen Lazard already ruled out. They were both placed on the COVID reserve list early on Monday. And, Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be playing with Randall Cobb, Amare Rodgers, St. Brown. Maybe we see Malik Taylor if he's good to go. There's a slim chance Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who's been on the injured reserve list, there's a chance he might play. But without Davante Adams and Allen Lazard, and for Lazard, he scored a touchdown each of the past two games, but we know Adams is the really, really significant loss for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And what I'm going to do today, I'm going to talk about the best bets and best expected value props for this matchup. And again, this is presented by OddsJam. I'm going to be using the tools at OddsJam and OddsJam.com, home of the number one tools in the sports betting industry. If you're not familiar with OddsJam, I would get familiar with OddsJam. Just like you, I am a user. Very, very smart people much smarter than I am, put these tools together to help make the users more profitable sports bettor in the long run. I have been using it since the first week of the NFL season. I have profited between arbitrage betting and plus EV betting. I profited, close to $3,500 now, and it keeps going up. Now, you have to deal with the ebbs and flows outside of arbitrage, which is risk-free wagering. The plus EV stuff, you have your losses. You have your days where you're down. You have your days where you're up and up and up. So you have to get used to the ebbs and flows, but in the end, you're going to be profitable as long as you are following the system and the process, and everything's right on OddsJam's screen, right? And I'll show you later, there's a calculator that tells you how much of your bankroll you should be wagering on a given plus EV bet. They make it that easy for you. Get familiar with OddsJam. Let's talk about this game. And let's see if we can make some profitable bets just over 24 hours away from kickoff. What I'm going to do first, though, I'm going to see if there's any additional news that we should know about going into this game. Like I said, we know about Lazard. We know about Davante Adams. Another one, Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator Joe Barry. He's not going to be there. He's another one on the COVID list. On the Cardinals end, they're actually getting a player back. The undefeated Cardinals, they've been terrific this year. They're getting Chandler Jones back. So not only does Aaron Rodgers have to deal with no Lazard, no Adams, no defensive coordinator, but on the other side, he's got to deal with J.J. Watt, Isaiah Simmons, Jordan Hicks, Zaven Collins, and oh, by the way, he's getting Chandler Jones, back too. So, really, really tough situation for the Green Bay Packers getting a red-hot Cardinals team. And here's the big one. I just saw it come through from about an hour ago. Andrew Siciliano on Twitter, NFL Network, reported this. Davante Adams is not traveling with the Green Bay Packers to Arizona. He's done. So now with Lazard and Adams officially out, it looks like the Packers are really, really going to hope that Marquez Valdez-Scantling is good to go tomorrow night. Otherwise, I expect a heavy dose of both Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. We're going to see Jones heavily involved in the passing game. Maybe we see a lot of, more twin tight end sets where they get Mercedes Lewis, the longtime NFL veteran, more involved. He's a nice red zone weapon. He can also move the chains. They have Robert Tonyan. So it's not like the Packers are completely out of weapons. They have enough. They're just down their best pass or maybe their best two pass catchers on the outside. Plus, it's hard to count out Aaron Rodgers. However, it seems like Vegas has, I believe this game opened at about 3.5. The line since the Adams news and since the Lazard news is now the Arizona Cardinals giving 6.5 to the Green Bay Packers. The total opened at 52.5. It went down to 50.5. Even when it was at minus 3.5, I like the Arizona Cardinals to win and cover. I actually thought that they would win and cover by 7 points anyway, with Davante Adams playing, which is no longer the case. So I especially like the Cardinals to win. If this was a playoff game, and I wrote an article about this at the Game Day NFL, if this was a playoff game, completely different story. Aaron Rodgers rises to the occasion. He's the veteran player who's been to Super Bowls, back-to-back NFC Championship games. The same thing with the coach LaFleur, back-to-back NFC Championship games. He's a fairly young coach, but he's had sustained success in this league. Meanwhile, Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, you name it, on the other side, they're brand new to winning, and not only winning, being undefeated. This is a primetime game. If this was a playoff game, like I said, I think I would lean the Green Bay Packers. But in this spot, the Cardinals have a shot to really say, hey, we're for real, guys. It's the regular season, but we really believe we have taken the next step. I think at home, they're going to dominate the Green Bay Packers on Thursday night. Aaron Rodgers will put points on the board, but it's just not going to be enough with all of the weapons that the Arizona Cardinals will throw at you. Let's see, from a betting stance here, some betting trends to talk about. The under is 5-1 in the past 6 meetings between the Packers and the Cardinals in Arizona. Let's see. The under is 4-0 in the last 4 Packers games overall. The Cardinals are 5-0 against the spread in their past 5 games overall. The over is 5-0 in the Cardinals' last 6 games after allowing fewer than 150 passing yards in the previous game. And the over is 5-0 in the Packers' past 5 games as an underdog. Listen, I like the over in this game. I like the over when it was at 52.5. I still like it when it's at 50.5. It's still Aaron Rodgers. He's still going to put up points, and we know the Arizona Cardinals, they're going to do their job. I mean, I believe they can hang a ton of points on the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay's defense is allowing the 8th fewest points per game, 20.9. The Arizona Cardinals are allowing the fewest points in the league. This is 2 really good defenses, but the offenses, that's where they really do their damage. Arizona, 4th in points per game at 32.1. Green Bay, middle of the pack, 16th, but still putting up 24. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to find a way to beat the Arizona secondary. Listen, the Arizona front 7 is amongst the best in the NFL. Their handicap is the secondary, even down as top weapons. Aaron Rodgers will still find a way to put points on the board. I like the over in this game, and I believe the under has hit in like 4 or 5 straight games on Thursday night. That changes this week. 2 high-powered offenses. I like the over, and I also, again, like the Arizona Cardinals to cover the 6.5 points that they are laying to the Green Bay Packers. And on this OddsJam page, I'm going to scroll up. Right now I'm on the Plus EV page. I'm going to go to the odds page, and I'm going to hit football. Obviously, we're talking about football tomorrow night. Where are we? We're going to find the Arizona Cardinals-Packers game, and what I'm going to do on my screen here, I'm going to make the OddsJam screen that much more larger so you can see, get a better glimpse of what I'm looking at. So let's do that now. Let's hit that transition button. And here we go. As you can see on OddsJam, like, you have the entire game here. Every bet you can make at sports books that OddsJam features, and they feature almost like every sports book, and they're adding more and more weekly, sometimes daily. It's crazy. These odds are updated in real time. So if something changes, you got to be quick, because if you like a wager, it could change within seconds, and then you're out. So here's the money line on this game. Obviously, trending towards the Cardinals side heavily. I think it was in the minus 100s when this opened, and now obviously heavily favoring the Arizona Cardinals. The OddsJam perfect line. The odds on the OddsJam perfect line are from Pinnacle, which is the sharpest sports book in the world. So this is where OddsJam gauges their tools from, is the OddsJam perfect line. Pinnacle thinks this should be minus 267. Everywhere else, you can see minus 290 at FanDuel, minus 303 at WinBet. So the best bet, if you want to wager on the Cardinals, which are fairly large favorites in this game, the best bet would be, it looks like, Fox Bet or BetMGM or the Borgata at minus 275. And you hear this if you go to the OddsJam YouTube channel, if you listen to this podcast, if you watch the videos. Pretty much any host making videos at OddsJam, they're going to say, why in the world would you bet on the Cardinals to win outright at WinBet at minus 303 if you can get it at minus 275 at Fox Bet? It makes no sense. You're leaving money on the table. This is why it is so important to have a multitude of sports books in your sports betting arsenal, so you can go and grab the best lines possible, and you're not out on a really good line or the best line possible. Even though if it's not the greatest, you can still place the best bet on the side that you want. On the Green Bay Packers end, the OddsJam perfect line plus 233. Again, this is coming from Pinnacle, the sharpest sports book in the world. So where is the best bet that you want to make if you believe the Green Bay Packers can pull off an improbable win? Down Alan Lazard, down Devontae Adams, and down defensive coordinator Joe Barry. So the best bet, and they highlighted for you, I tell you, OddsJam basically does everything but hit the submit the submit bet button when you're like, they do everything but place the damn bet. It highlights the best place to make this bet if you like the Green Bay Packers to win, plus 250 odds at WinBet. Why would you place a bet at Caesars at plus 235 when you can get plus 250 odds at WinBet? It makes no sense. Depending on the state, obviously, I live in New Jersey. I have a ton of options. Maybe in some states you don't have as many options. But if you have a lot of options, if you have more than one option, you should have more than one sports betting account in your name. And another great thing about OddsJam, I live in New Jersey. Look, like I have the mouse here circling New Jersey. If I lived in any other of these states, right? Let's click on Colorado. All of a sudden, OddsJam is going to show me the sports books that are available in Colorado. Like, what's this fun one? Betfred. I don't have that in New Jersey. They have it in Colorado. The same thing with this one, Elite Sportsbook. Bet Rivers. Looks like Bally Bet. All of these sports books differ from state to state, and OddsJam has the option to filter out the state you live in. Let's say I move to Iowa or go to Iowa for vacation for some reason. All of a sudden, look, not as many, but, Bally Bet, Bet Rivers, Betfred, Elite. So a lot of the same ones as Colorado, a lot of the same ones as New Jersey, but all the states are different, and they all feature different sports books. And again, OddsJam does it for you. You click on the state that you are in, and you can use the tools. OddsJam will pull the sports books from the state that you live in and give you the odds from there. Now, I told you that I like the Cardinals to win. Let's look at the point spread because, again, -6.5, that is the spread. So you go up to this section, you click on point spread, you scroll down, all of a sudden it went from money line to point spread. It's like magic. It's the magic of OddsJam. What can I say? You go down, you scroll down, you're going to see some highlights on the left side. And on this left side, you'll see it's a little bit darker. This is the main line for the game. So we look at the main line. If you like the Cardinals, -6.5, what are the best odds for this game? Well, the OddsJam perfect line is +102. Everywhere else, it seems like it's at -110. The best is at PointsBet at -107. The worst, -115. If you like the Packers to cover, OddsJam perfect line, -112. You can get this at -105 at WinBet. Again, this is the best bet or the best place to make this bet. Now, if you think the Cardinals can win by more than 7, obviously if you take them at 7 and they win by 7, the bet is voided, you push. But if you think that they can maybe blow the doors off the Green Bay Packers and win by more than 7 points, why not take the Arizona Cardinals at plus odds, +102, it looks like at Barstool, SugarHouse, Twinspires, UniBet. They all seem to share the same odds. But that is the best places to make the Arizona Cardinals giving 7 points bet. SugarHouse, Twinspires, UniBet. Barstool, it's at +100 at DraftKings and Fox Bet. Again, I would only make that if you think the Cardinals can win by 8 points. And if they do win by 7, you push. So it's not a bad bet to make if you think the Cardinals can really blow the doors open or blow the doors off the Green Bay Packers, which they are very much capable of. Let's go to some plus EV bets for this game. So we're going to go to the positive EV section of the OddsJam website. You go to betting tools, you'll see arbitrage, you'll see low hold. If you want to, transfer your bankroll to sportsbook. Let's say you have a free bet and you want to turn that over, without taking a big hit. You can turn over your free bets at the low hold page. If you want to bet middles, they even pull middle wagers for you at OddsJam. But we're going to go to plus EV and we're going to filter out the date. So we go into tomorrow. Let's scroll down. Let's find this game. Tomorrow night, obviously, right around 8:20 p.m. kickoff. And we'll see the plus EV wagers available for this game tomorrow night. And there's not a lot. But because these wagers are in real time, they're updated in real time on the oddsjam.com pages. If you just hit the refresh button in a couple of minutes, there might be more added. Maybe one's, disappears because the odds have changed. We already talked about the best place to make the money line bet. I said it earlier when we were on the actual football odds page. Plus 250 over at WinBet. If you think the Green Bay Packers have a legit shot to win this game, it is a 5.03% plus EV wager. Again, Pinnacle, which is the OddsJam perfect line, they have it, at plus 224. You can get this at plus 250 at Win. Here's a prop, and I love the props that the plus EV props over at OddsJam. Because they can be really, really profitable. I've been killing with NBA since the NBA season has opened a few days ago. I've been really killing the NBA plus EV props. In fact, I might do some NBA prop videos in the near future, so stay tuned for that. But here's one on the total receptions of A.J. Green. The more profitable side is the under 3.5 receptions. And you can get this over at Caesars and DraftKings at plus 100 odds. And A.J. Green has really stepped up since joining the Arizona Cardinals, which we kind of expected because in Cincinnati, he was obviously the wide receiver 1. In Arizona, He's the wide receiver 2, sometimes 3. They have DeAndre Hopkins demanding the top-end coverage. So the top-end coverage is no longer covering A.J. Green, right? Like Jalen Ramsey will get DeAndre Hopkins. A.J. Green gets the other guy with the Los Angeles Rams. It's normally Darius Williams, but he was on IR when they played. There's also Christian Kirk. They also have Rondale Moore. They just traded for Zach Ertz. So A.J. Green could really have a career resurgence as the B receiver in Arizona. So the under 3.5 receptions, and A.J. Green has had a pretty good year. He opened the year, first 4 games, 6 targets. And then in the past 3 games, he had 1 game with 6 targets, 2 games with fewer than 3. Now, in order to go over 3.5 receptions, A.J. Green needs more than 3 targets. So in last week against Houston, he only had 3 targets, 3 receptions, 66 yards. This bet would have went under. Week 5 against San Francisco, 1 of 2 targets for 13 yards. In the middle against Cleveland, he goes 5 of 6 for 79 and a touchdown. But, in this game against Green Bay, if you believe A.J. Green might not have one of his bigger games, and really his biggest reception total game has been 5. And he's had 3 games with 5 receptions out of 7 games played. So he would have went under 3.5 receptions in 4 games. Even in the games, obviously, where he catches 3 passes, that's still the under. So I'm going to go ahead and I would take this A.J. Green under total receptions at 3.5 against the Green Bay Packers tomorrow night. And it is a 3.83% plus EV bet if it hits. That's 3.83% of positive expected value built into this wager. Here's one more. It's not a player prop. This is first half total points. Now, I do like the over for the game, but the first half, sometimes the teams come out slow. They come out flat. It takes a little bit to get going. So the under is 25.5 points. The OddsJam perfect line is minus 123. You can get this at minus 107 at SugarHouse, Barstool, Twinspires, UniBet. Again, these guys share the same odds, it seems like. So if you have a SugarHouse account, if you have a Twinspires account, UniBet, Barstool, wherever, you can take this under 25.5 total points in the first half at minus 107 as a 2.9% expected value wager. And I like the under to hit in the half. Under 25.5, these teams can come out flat, and then they explode in the second half. That's how NFL games go sometimes. So if they score even 25 points, 24 points in the first half, you're looking good and tracking the over in the second half when teams start playing desperate. Let's say the Cardinals have, 24. Let's say the Cardinals have a 17-10 lead, or like 17-10, that's 27. Let's say they have a 14-10 lead or a 17-7 lead. Maybe that's the better one, right? My math is terrible off the top of my head, as you can see. So 17 plus 7 is 24. So let's say the Arizona Cardinals have a 17-7 lead going into halftime. You're going to hit the under on this bet. And then in the second half, the Green Bay Packers, let's say they get the ball to start the second half. Okay, we need to start putting up points. We can't let the Cardinals, we can't not score here, and then the Cardinals score again, and then this game is blown open and we're done. So the Green Bay Packers come out firing. They play the hurry-up offense. They play up tempo, try to keep the Cardinals defense from making substitutions, drive the ball downfield, and score a touchdown. And then the Cardinals come back and score. All of a sudden, in the second half, it's a scoring bonanza on track to hit the over 50.5 points in the second half. So that is the situation I am projecting for tomorrow night's Thursday night football matchup between the Cardinals and the Packers. Let's go back up. Let's hit the refresh page. Let's see if there's any other plus EV wagers that came up that I might want to talk about. If not, I'll throw a couple more props out there from just the normal odds page. So where are we? Tomorrow, 8:21. So it looks like nothing new has come up. So let's scroll back up. Let's see if there's any basketball ones. I'm always going to veer off and see. As you can see, I took the Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases, a 12.31% expected value wager for tonight's Game 2 of the World Series. The Mikhail Bridges under player rebounds, -120 at DraftKings. I put some good dough on this one. I also have 25% profit boost. I have 3 of them. I'm sure many of you do if you wager at the DraftKings Sportsbook. I got 3 profit boosts today. I'm sure all of you did too. And I use one of them here. It's one of the ones I'm really confident in, a 9.67% return of expected value. On this one, again, Mikhail Bridges under 4.5, -120 odds at DK. Duncan Robinson +140 at Caesars. Over player assists. He only needs 2, and I believe he's hit it the past couple of games. I know I cashed on the over 1.5 of Duncan Robinson assists 1 or 2 times already in the past couple of days, an 8.03% expected value wager. And I also had a profit boost that I use here at Caesars as well. I had a free bet at Caesars that I use on another one of these. So a lot of great promotions and a lot of free money going around at all these sports books. Super excited for all of the opportunities at hand, and you guys should be too. But let's see if there's any more to pick. Let's go back to this page. Let's talk about some total, let's see. Let's go to player receiving yards. Let's close with this. Aaron Jones, no Devontae Adams. We expect Aaron Jones to be busier as a receiver out of the backfield. You can get over under 34.5 yards. The over, I think Aaron Jones is going to have to go over this if the Green Bay Packers are going to try to be competitive. -114 odds, -115 at PointsBet. I would take the over on the Aaron Jones receiving yard total. Chase Edmonds, he's getting healthier, was dealing with the shoulder injury. Now Chase Edmonds appears to be the healthiest he's been in a while. Expect Chase Edmonds to be a little bit more involved. Over 22.5 receiving yards. He's the primary pass catcher out of the backfield for the Arizona Cardinals. The bet to make is at FanDuel, -114 odds for the Chase Edmonds over. I would be all over that if I were you. But okay, guys, I'm going to wrap up for today. This was another great episode of the Sports Betting Edge podcast, brought to you by OddsJam.com. I will be back later in the week discussing more NFL Week 8 action from a betting point of view. But until then, I'm Anthony Servino. Follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at OddsJam. You can find us at all the top social media and podcast platforms. Have a safe Tuesday night or Wednesday night now. And good luck on all of your Thursday night football endeavors tomorrow night.